I'm coming to Dr. Banerjee, our friend from Pune. Dr. Banerjee, very specific questions. We are talking about long COVID or the COVID with sequelae, and you are the person of medicine, public health. Only a couple of months back, we heard that Pune suffered with lot many cases of Myasthenia gravis, etc. And
So we could
people
not hear
did
you.
link it people did link it with as a post-COVID sequelae. What had been your experience and expert comment
Uh,
on this particular case, but as a whole, long COVID and its sequelae?
Thank you, Dr. Agarwal. This Guillain-Barré syndrome, I wouldn't relate it to COVID in Pune. The reason being that COVID occurred all over the country.
Okay.
Why only in Pune it should occur,
Yes.
whether due to vaccine or due to the COVID-19. So I do not think there is any connection, because even in Pune also, the GBS, there was a clustering of cases in the suburbs of Pune. And regarding Guillain-Barré, it's a very rare condition. They found some Campylobacter, some water contamination. Besides that, there were heavy onslaught of Zika, dengue, and chikungunya in Pune few months preceding this Guillain-Barré. And this Zika virus is known to precipitate Guillain-Barré. So I don't associate with COVID, because it's it should have occurred all over the world or all over the country. Secondly, regarding the impact of vaccine at the population level, I am not very comfortable, because there have been studies at population level. The vaccine could have been used as a clinical tool for the clinician or for elderly and those who are at risk. Because in 2021, there was a paper in European Journal of Epidemiology. As early as 2021, they compared 68 countries and 2947 American counties. They found no correlation with population level vaccination coverage and cases of COVID. Similarly, I have plotted, or team have plotted data from number of countries 1 year before vaccination, 1 year post vaccination, from Australia, from New Zealand, from Singapore, from Sri Lanka. We found the case, and even from Israel. These are the countries which had controlled COVID very well due to very restrictive measures, like Singapore, Australia, and post-vaccination, there was a spike in cases as well as deaths from COVID. Maybe many reasons, maybe the mutation, maybe the Omicron came. So at the population level, vaccination did not work. And even as a demographic data, we have the example of African countries where the vaccination coverage is less than 5%. Compared to European countries, compared to Australia, 80%, compared to Japan. Japan also had no COVID before vaccination, but post-vaccination, it had a spikes. So there the vaccination coverage is 80-90%, and African continents less than 10%. There are hardly any cases or deaths. So at the population level, it did not work very well. It could be used as a individual tool on the judgment of the clinician for high risk groups. And one thing I would like to put on record is, to date, why we don't have the results of the RCTs conducted by Pfizer and Moderna, or even we should have had the results for the safety and efficacy. So we have not managed our data very properly. And regarding long COVID also, we have a very large country. We had everything on the digital platform. We could have followed up people who had recovered from COVID, and could have followed up people who have taken the vaccine, and then we could have compared. Then only we would have come to some. Now it is very difficult to identify long COVID, whether it is due to COVID or due to any other, because after everybody got COVID in our country, after that we are exposed to air pollution, we are exposed to tuberculosis, we are exposed to 101 pathogens. So now everything is getting attributed to long COVID. For that, we should have had a proper study, because as a large country, we could have identified many people who had never had COVID also. Very few, but being a large country, and we could have followed them forward and compared them with people who have had COVID, then people who have taken the vaccine. Some people had not taken the vaccine. So I think we can go in this direction from a digital data.